The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the pan. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot the depot, yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pros course. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boys ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people start five. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat stick. I got what you need.
All right. Once again, after a week off, we are finally back. And ironically enough, the only three fathers of the show, we had to join forces today on our day to celebrate Father's Day. Some of us are in the clouds. Some of us got into the clouds by other means. But I think we feeling good today. What up, everybody? It's your boy, the mayor, that DJ named Ace5, your mom's favorite fat guy, all the way from deepest, darkest, and rainy Africa. As always, hit that box, get to that box next to the brother Tyrone's head. 20% off your order using the code STARTING5 at hooksrub.com. Shouts out to the brother Jared. Happy Father's Day to you too. And Dubby, 10% off your order using the code STARTING5 at Dubby on us. If you're like me and doing what you're not supposed to do, drinking energy drinks, get you some Dubby. Tyrone, what up, kid?
What's up? Happy Father's Day to you guys. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Even the bad ones. It's still Father's Day. So, I ain't going to get into that. But happy Father's Day. And I had a cool week. Week off of the show. I didn't like that, but things happen. But I had a cool week, and I wasted 2 hours of it watching that Tyler Perry film, but that's a discussion for another day, I guess. But other than that, I had a good time this week. What's up, TJ?
What's up, man? I'm just tired. I was in Vegas for 8 days. Averaged 21,000 steps a day. I get home Friday, forgot that I have to go to a tailgating the next day, yesterday, at the Mets game. Drinking all day there, drinking every day in Vegas. I'm getting old, bro. I don't like it. I don't like it, but it's happening. And that's where we're at. I need a vacation from all this bullshit. I need to sleep for like 72 hours. I know it's not possible, but it's where I'm at right now.
So
other than that, it's been good.
You didn't go try to get that triple double this morning?
Messed around and got a triple double.
But all in all, it was a long week. Busy week. Long weeks, busy week, but I'll make it. We'll be all right.
See, TJ, you know what's funny? You say I never had a hangover. This is what a hangover is in some cases. It's not always hang-ups and vomiting and stuff. It's
just being tired,
feeling like you got your ass kicked and being dead and whooped the next day. Sometimes this is what a hangover can be.
I wouldn't know.
So you've had them. You just
I wouldn't know. I
you
just be
just
tired.
don't want to represent that. You don't want to
Nah,
represent that. You don't
nah,
want to claim it.
I'm not. I'm never gonna claim
But
it. Right? It's just what it is, yo.
man,
I guess I've eliminated a lot of the hangover situations because in my youth, when I was out there doing stuff, we went straight from, we didn't go to bed. So it wasn't nothing over. We went straight from the bar straight to the job.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so it was like, I'm still groovy. You know what I mean?
yeah. Nah, I see people go from the bar to the job and they didn't make it. It was not pretty.
No, that's what I did. I could go from the bar to the job. Now, if I tried that now, shit, no.
Nah. That's not
Right
happening.
now, right now, my rule is if I ain't in the house by midnight, there will be no work tomorrow. That's how we go.
and this is where
I
I'm
wish.
thankful that I work for the 12, because I could sleep until whatever, and then wake up, and I'm like, okay, I could go to work. So,
Bro, you know
but yeah,
what's
I'm trying to
crazy?
get us on Instagram right now, and I don't know if we're showing. If anybody is out there that's eventually going to tune in, I need to know if we are streaming on
Let me look that up.
on Instagram or not. Because I'm looking
You know,
right now, and it's not showing anything.
what was crazy was it was 108 degrees every day out there. And I got a real understanding for dry heat, but I don't like that shit. It's still 108 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So see, we the opposite because I've been to Vegas quite a few times, and and when I was in the military, I lived in Arizona for a while, right? And I can tell you that for me, the dry heat was way better. Like when I was in the Army and I was in Texas and I was in South Carolina and I was in them BDUs, dude, I was sweating profusely. I was wet.
yeah,
I was disgusted, bro. When I
yeah.
was in the military in Arizona, I was cool. It was 102, but I was like chilling. Like it wasn't that dry heat. I think
You
the
just
humidity
don't sweat, but it's still hot. And then when the breeze blows, it's a hot ass breeze.
that is true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like somebody's breath.
Yeah, it's just like, come on. That shit ain't helping nobody, man. It's just bad.
I guess it depends on whether you like humidity or not, because I can't stand the humidity, bro.
I don't like humidity at all.
But you was
don't.
hot. You didn't like Vegas because there's no humidity there, so that's the kind of heat that I kind of like. I could deal with.
Nah, I like heat, but anything over 100, man, is just that's not human, man. We not supposed to be outside in 100-degree weather, man. It's just give me 98, give me 96, 97, not 108.
2, 3, oh yeah, okay. 10 degrees.
It makes it all the difference. You know what I'm saying?
I live in a world where I want it to be 70 and below every day of my life. That's what I want. I don't want nothing to do 70, bro.
No. I need to get in the water. No, I need to get in the water. I need that beach.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with 60 to 90, yo. 60 to 90, because it's 60, you can still at least wear t-shirts, and this is the most that you gotta wear, a hoodie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
If fuck all that jacket shit.
If winter is 60, 65 for me, I'm good on that. I'm good on that for the rest of my life.
So TJ, you one of them dudes that go to the beach with your lady and it's just you and her?
Sometimes.
Cause see, I hate the beach, and I don't hate the beach because of me. I hate the beach because I've always had to take children to the beach, and taking children to the beach is fucking ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. Those days are long gone. Son. I'm not doing that shit no more either. Hell no. I ain't packing up my nephew to go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He better be packed already. He better have his shit together, bro, because if we go in for it, it's gonna be a short walk from out his parents' apartment and right back. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going on no long trip, bro. I'm not doing it. That's a lot of work. That's
And
a
then-
lot of work.
Yeah, I don't like it
What to
because
be responsible for.
well, here's my experience, right? You go to a beach like Atlantic City where they don't have like the hoopla. They just got the boardwalk and the beach, right? Where the kids go. They build a sandcastle, they bury themselves in the beach. We take the frisbee, they don't really throw it. We take the football, they don't really play it. They get in that water for about an hour, and then it's like boardwalk. And I'm like, I planned my whole day around being at this beach. The drive, the beach, and now 3 hours later, and these kids are like, hey, can we go on the boardwalk? Can we go spend money, or can we go home? And it's like, fuck y'all. Then you go to Wildwood, and Wildwood's got all the hoopla. So you go to the beach. The kids don't want to go on the beach. They want to go ride that Ferris wheel, that ride, the go-karts and all that. And I said, man, we drove all the way to Wildwood. We could have went right over to the Funplex in Jersey and did this same shit y'all trying to do down here. So at this point now, man, I don't fuck with the beach, bro. I don't fuck with it.
Yeah, man, that sounds like you need to go to the beach by yourself and be like, yo, I'm the fuck out. You don't enjoy that shit anyway. So I'll be back in about 4 hours. And fend for yourselves.
I've never been to the beach with just like, that's what I'm saying. My sister used to go with her husband all the time. And she used to tell me, like, me and my husband used to go to the beach. And I'm like, why y'all go to the beach? And they said it's a vibe. You know, you got the water, have a couple of beers and stuff like that. I've never done that. So that's why I was trying to ask you, like, if that is a thing, like, would I enjoy that?
Yeah, it is a thing. It's very relaxing. It's very peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you bring your cool out there. You bring just enough shit for you, and only you. And you got the Bluetooth playing. You know, you got the speaker popping, and it's just a chill vibe, man. You know, I smoke a cigar or two while I'm out there. Nobody says nothing to me. You know, it's definitely a chill vibe. You just listening to the waves. Sometimes all you just want to do is listen to the waves and relax, and watch things walk by. You know what I'm saying? And that's a nice day for me. I could do that shit for life. If they put a salary on it, sign me up because I'm ready for that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, give me a pool. The beach to me is just boring. Like, I know my wife can't stand the beach because she don't like the sand and all that shit. For me, the beach is whatever. I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, I was just like, I forgot what was I seeing? Sent me a video of people fucking shaving their feet in the tide, like while they were doing the tide water. Like they had like the foot like the cheese grater looking thing to do. They were doing it, but they were on the beach. They were on the beach in beach water. So it was like, I get it if you're turning your nose up, but think about it like this: you go in that water, you're swimming in sea creature's toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like you never look at it like that. And also, here's another, like, I'm not gonna say it's a high thought, but like this is a thought I've had for a very long time. I've put out there before. Like, if you think about it, like you got the glaciers all around the world, you got ice and things in water that's been trapped for millions of years on this planet, right? Thank you. And you figure like nothing really escapes the planet. Everything kind of recycles itself in some sort of a way. So we pee one day, it's gonna become rainwater in some sort of a way. So like we drink dinosaur piss. Look at it, like I think we drink dinosaur piss.
Bro. That's a reach.
I know.
Here's where you're
over there just reaching, man.
It's not so.
Oh my God.
Here's where I kind of want to blow your little concept up, right? So I get in the water, and you could say it's shit in there, you could say it's pee in there, you could say it's all kinds of shit in there. I'm not thinking about that when I'm in the water, right? You don't think about it. But think about if you were in the water and you see somebody actually pull their pants down and start taking the shit in there right next to you. That is a different thing, because now you see it, it's different. I know it's shit in the water, but I'm not consciously bothered by it. But if you see somebody do it, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? You ain't never gonna want to swim again. So what you don't know don't hurt you. Or what you don't think about. You know what I mean? So it's different.
Right. all that seawater you get in your eyes. You open your mouth underwater.
Well, the pool is
You
the
done
biggest
drank
toilet
more
pool,
piss.
so I take the sea over
Yeah.
a pool any day. I can't.
But TJ, my point is, you know, people pee in the pool, right? When you get in the pool, you ain't thinking about that. But if somebody was sitting next to you, sitting on the dock, just peeing in the water while you in there, it's a different feeling. It'll be like, yo, you ain't gonna stay in there. Then, if you see it, you gonna get out. But if you don't see it, what you don't know don't hurt you, you know. And you is gonna open your mouth and.
Nah, that's word.
Oh my God! Oh damn! All the comments coming up on the side. They so tiny we can't even read them.
No, he said, "What the hell? He wasn't thinking about that, but thanks."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like one time, I was at work.
He said he wants to do a chocolate bar in the pool to watch him scatter.
Oh my God! One time, but here's the thing. One time I was at work, and I was drinking water, and the boy he ain't had no water all day. So I'm like, yo, you got to drink this water. You need some water. And he told me, he said, man, I don't be trying to drink water. I said, why not? You got to drink water. Like, that's ridiculous. And he said, man, you know, all the pee and all the pissing and shit and all that kind of stuff that be in that water. And he goes, you know, fish pee in there, animals, all kinds of shit be in that water. And I'm just like, now that you put it like that, you know, I don't want, like, I looked at the water too, like, he right. Like, but you gotta drink. We don't think about that when you go get water. You don't think about that.
Everything you need is made with water. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
You need water for everything.
But when he said
water is life, but
yeah,
you
need water. There's nobody walking around here dry all day. You just can't do that shit.
But whose mind goes to, oh, I don't want to drink the water because I know that fish been peeing and shitting in here. Like, you don't think about that when you go get a water. You know what I mean? Like, he said that to me, and I'm just like, you really that fucked up that you think about that when you go to get water to drink it?
He's got too much time on his hands.
Shouts out to Curtis. If you can see the comments on the side, he said, I once threw a chocolate bar in a pool to watch him scatter. That's foul shit.
Hey man, but I do think about certain things. Like when I go to hotels and I see hot tubs. Hold on. Oh.
Nasty. That's why there's soda and beer.
Made with water.
With water.
Made with water. Yeah. I do think about shit when I go to certain places though. When I go to certain places though, and I go to the hot tub, I do scope the scenery of a hot tub. I see what kind of people got in. I see what kind of people get out because that's hot, steaming, bubbling water. And certain kind of people go in there, and I can be like, hey, man, that dude right there, that ass is not clean. I'm not getting in that hot tub. You know what I'm saying?
That's that's human soup.
That's not. No, I enjoy a good hot tub, but you just got to see.
Yeah, but that's
for you.
No, I can dig it, but that's when you think about it, that's 11 herbs and spices that we ain't asked for.
That's why you can't think about it. That's why you peep it before you get in. And if you see a certain kind of person in there, you go, okay, it's not my day. But then if you don't think about it. You just get in and you just get your bubbles and your heat on, you know.
You need a rabbi to come make the water kosher.
Bless the hot tub.
Right.
That's crazy.
Man, but yeah, this is a crazy ass way to start, but whatever. My week was just a mental fucking try not to crash out type of vibe kind of thing. Cause ain't nothing worse than having somebody who's your superior talk to you as if they were your parent on this, this is Father's Day being all that. And sometimes a nigga forgets that you got adults that you're managing and supervising, and adults sometimes are ready to do adult things, and I'll just leave that like that. You know what I'm saying?
What's an adult though? Because I'm tired of hearing that I'm a man, I'm an adult. I got 25-year-olds that come out working for me, and they want to talk that shit too. But the only time I get shit done is when I talk to them like I'm their fucking dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you've described that before, and that's why your ass keeps going to sensitivity training.
Yeah.
but sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that good life threatening. nigga, I will evaporate you. You know what I'm saying? And fortunately, you haven't had that yet, because that'll change the tune.
Yeah, I had a question. So do y'all know about that Straw movie on Netflix, the Tyler Perry movie?
I heard about it.
No,
Is any one of y'all planning on watching it?
absolutely not.
Nah,
But
I don't watch his
before you
movies.
get into it, though, you know, I did see his clip about of his speech on the Negro Awards, the BET Awards, this past week, and that man, we shit on him. We do shit on him because people look at it like he
deserves to
doesn't
get
make
shit
some of
on
the
for
best,
sometimes though.
some of his product. But even with quote unquote the shit that he deserves to get shit on, he wasn't lying when that man has made millionaires. That man has harnessed the power of an industry with of his own. Like the man's built his own. I mean, he bought the complex, but built his own studio
I
setup.
know. But
Not many
see,
people that look like us have ever done that in life.
that, but
And so he gets props from me, even though I might not be a consumer of his content. But
no,
this is a comment to you, Tyrone, and that movie. Curtis said it's the Precious prequel.
well,
So
that's what
please
I'm saying.
explain this to us.
That's what I'm saying. The level of he presents it as, and all these people are looking at it as, oh, this is the plight of a black single mother, and this is what black single moms go through. But the level of terribleness and the level of disgustingness and the level of all of that shit that happens in this movie is on the level of Precious. It's on that it's Precious level type shit going on in this film. And I'm just like, yo, we don't need to see Precious level type shit. Like, this is not, it just was bad, bro. And it was and then I think that Tyler Perry rides. My view on Tyler Perry and my view with what I said about this movie was Tyler Perry is good. I said this movie shouldn't be called Straw. It should be called I Pulled the Wool Again. And I'll say this, Tyler Perry pulls the wool all the time over our eyes because he does talk about he's at the studio. He does talk about making millionaires, right? Taraji said she wasn't getting paid enough. He hires her to do this movie. He pays her a bunch of money. He brought Glenn Thurman's in the movie. Rockman from 911, who was from the family that prays, we like that guy. He's in the movie. You know what I mean? Sinbad's in the movie. He got Tiana Taylor. She's the next hot thing coming up. I love her. She's multi-talented, great woman. She's in the movie, right? So he puts all these black people in the movie. He pays Sherry Shepherd. He made sure Taraji got paid. He makes us look pro-black. I got Taraji. I got these people. I'm paying these people. I got the studio. I'm giving these people opportunities. I'm making millionaires. And the whole script is tearing down the entire black community. And people are eating it up. And it's just like, no. I know black moms, single moms struggle, but single black moms do not go through this much. And like I said before, and my main problem with the movie is 90% of the black people in that movie are depicted in a bad light. 90% of the black people in that movie are made to look ignorant, look nasty, look disgusted, look fucked up. It's just a whole movie of a bunch of different black people in different positions looking bad. And I didn't like that.
He's just made a lot of money off the black drama plot issue. He's done it since he was doing his stage shows till now. Like that's his bread and butter. He's good at it. White folk eat it up because they want to see what the black experience is like, yada, 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 yada. We already seen this shit. We got somebody in our family, friend, whatever. We already know this story. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the part
right.
that I
It
wanted
doesn't
to
need to
add,
be
TJ.
repeated. Yeah,
that's the
go
part
ahead.
that I wanted to add to this is because, again, Tyrone, you've already displayed that you've consumed more of his content than we ever have. But is what he's displaying not the truth? With the exception of them fucked up wigs that he had in movies from like during COVID and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than them fucked up wigs, is some of these stories not the truth?
Okay.
I think
So this is how I break it down.
I'm listening.
I'll, I'll break it down. I'll break it down, and this is how I break it down. There's a lot of black women, a lot of single black women out there that go, "Oh, it was so relatable, and I can relate." It was a lot of black men out here that went, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of single black women going through that right now, and a lot of black people are going through that right now," and I agree. But for me, like I said, Precious was believable, but Precious was a terrible film. And the things that was going on in Precious and the way that Monique was depicted in that as a single mom, the things she was doing and all that, that was terrible to put out there. And I didn't like that. Like, I know people are going through that, but some of your business don't belong in the street. My dad always told me some of your business don't belong in the street. And Precious was something that I don't feel like if that was that woman was doing and that was her business, it didn't belong in the street. With this movie, the way that it was presented, the way that it went down and everything that happened to this woman, people say they can relate. They can't relate, bro. Taraji's character literally went through every single thing that a bad single black mother could go through in one fucking day. I mean, everything. And it's just like, no, you can't relate to that because you haven't been through that much. I know single black moms that go through stuff, but to go through all of that in one fucking day, no, bro. No, that's not relatable. That's not how it works. You don't. Throughout the course of a day, black people do not encounter ignorant black people like that all day in every aspect of her life. The whole entire day, bro, every black person she encountered was ignorant to her, was disrespectful to her, was uncompassionate most of the time. It was just, I think he took every bad thing that happens to single black mothers and put them in one movie and made it happen to one person. And no, it's not like that. Yeah, you might get evicted. Yeah, black moms get evicted, but you don't get evicted, shot, killed, shot at, bank robbed. You don't, all of that doesn't happen in the same day, bro.
No.
And like I said before, he just made it his effort to, I don't know, the way I seen it, I'll put it to you like this. There were 8 to 10 terrible black people represented in that film. And then he also made an effort to point out that her being a single mom and all the other black people that were struggling in that film were generational. She was a single mother that was fucked up. Her mother was a single mother that was fucked up. Her sister's fucked up. The cop who helped her was a single mother who was fucked up. And then the cop tells her a story about her mom being a single mom who they got evicted and was fucked up. So now you saying generations of black people were fucked up. You're depicting a whole bunch of fucked up black people. And my thing is this. There was like 8 to 10 black people in that movie that was fucked up. There was 2 good black people in that movie. And even the good black cop that was in that movie, she came from being fucked up. She just got out of it. And the only white person that was fucked up in that movie, the only white person that was a bad white person that was depicted as a fucked up white person in this movie, we never saw him get held accountable. He got punched in the face and that's it. We never saw him get held accountable. We watched all the other black people get held accountable for all they shit. And so it's like, dude, like I just think that movie tore down a bunch of black people, bro. That's how I felt. Yeah, we go through it, but I don't, like I said, man, some things, like some business ain't supposed to be put out in the street.
I get it. I get it. Curtis said, Precious made me want to smoke a square, Newport 100s.
Yo.
He said, mind you, I don't smoke. You smoke cigars, good brother. We don't do the cigarettes, but you smoke cigars, though. But I feel you. I feel what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand everything you're saying right now. It's just sometimes, yeah, like you said, Tyler Perry. Oh, excuse me. Tyler Perry, you don't not everything is for the streets.
But it's just like
not everything is for the streets.
It's just like TJ described it perfectly. The white people eat it up because they love to see us fucked up. They want to see us fucked up. And my concept is, why give it to them? Why give it to them? And then the black people eat it up because they all sit up there and they all do the same thing. Yeah, my mom had to go through that. Yeah, I could relate. That's the same thing with all the drug dealing movies. I can relate. Same thing with all the thug gangster shit. I could relate. And I'm just like, Tyler Perry's in a position where he don't have to answer to nobody, bro. He can literally make any movie that he wants to make. And he's still making movies about black people being fucked up. And I'm like, dude, make a movie about black people not being fucked up. Like, put us in some positions. Make a movie about it's white trash out here. Make a white trash film. I haven't seen a white trash film hardly ever. Make a white trash film. And I'm not disrespecting white people or nothing. I'm just saying, Tyler Perry, you're in position. Why you always got to show us fucked up? You can make any movie you want. Show some white people fucked up sometimes. But you can't do that because he don't know what he's talking about because we can't relate. White people say shit about us all the time and they don't relate to nothing we fucking do. So why can't a black man make a movie about some white folks? Because we can't relate. That's not his niche.
It won't. It will never see the light of day.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. It seems like you're right. It's all a marketing scheme, and that's why I said Tyler Perry's pulling the wool again because he knows what he's doing, man. He knows. Like you said, the white movie ain't gonna go out. The black movie gonna blow up because of the same reasons you just pointed out, TJ. And Tyler Perry's milking that cow, bro. He's milking that cow. I ain't mad at him, but I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired. We know we know we struggle, bro. We see it in real life. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, and then the white people, it plays into the white people stereotypes about us, right? So there's like, oh, yeah, of course this is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course this is supposed to happen because y'all don't know how to do nothing for yourselves or shit like that. You know what they need to do? They make a movie about people who hired immigrants and now they got no jobs and see how their business stained after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do a movie like that or some shit like that.
But you know what was the main thing that pissed me off about this movie? The main thing that pissed me off about this movie was she was going through all of this shit, right? And later on in the movie, we find out that she has a mother and a sister. And I go, wait, she got a mom and a sister out here in this world that's still alive, that's around. And she going through all this shit. And the premise was she had nobody to turn to. She had a child with a man that didn't help her, didn't love her. She had a mom and a sister that couldn't help her, that she couldn't even turn to, that she didn't even call or visit or she was going through all this shit and her mother never pulled up, her sister never pulled up. You know what I mean? So now you saying that it's like she's a single black mom out here with nobody to turn to. And I'm like, no, like usually you got a mom, you got a sister, you got a best friend, you got a girlfriend. Like black single moms ain't out here with nobody, bro. Especially when their parents and their sisters are alive. You just made a bunch of black people look terrible. Like why you had to make her mom and her sister be bad people too? They're not even characters in the film, but you bring them up to say she got a mother and a sister that she still can't turn to for help. And that I was just like, that's added on to the movie that don't even forward.
Did it make it look like did it make it look like that she was the one that was the issue with the mother and the sister, or like the mother and the sister just was like, we ain't fucking with you?
No, she said she talked about her mom and her sister, and then the mom comes on. They actually put the mom in the movie for a second, and yeah, the mom's fucked up. The mom doesn't have no compassion for her daughter. She just calls her and she's fucked up. She has no compassion for her. It was bad.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
That's nuts. But yeah, man, I don't know. Tyler Perry. I mean, like I say, he hasn't made nothing enticing enough for me to want to tune in. You know, and I don't know.
What's crazy? What's crazy for me too is that Taraji is so dude. The only saving grace of these films is that he puts people in these movies that are so good, bro. Tiana Taylor was so good. Taraji was so good. Like as far as the acting, so good, bro. Excellent acting. I'm like, yo, you could have took these same people and made a good script and had a nice, decent movie, maybe an Oscar winner film, and got these people respected because the work they put in on this movie was A+. The acting was like top notch for a film that it's terrible. It's like bad. You know what I mean? And so I'm like,
You know
damn.
what? You know what? I was just thinking about this, like a movie like Boomerang, right? Where you had black people throughout the whole movie, but they all had like dope jobs, you know, within different positions of the company. Like everybody had their own place, they had their shit together, and it was just like going through everyday life, you know what I'm saying? And dating. That's what it was about. It's like black people, this is how black people date, or one person, how he dates in his style with money. And they all had money. It wasn't like they weren't broke or nothing like that. It was we need more movies like that.
Right. They had friendships. They had, you know, there was some bullshit going on, but everybody goes through some bullshit. But like you said, we need shit like that. And Tyler Perry has the ability. He doesn't have to answer to anyone. He can make shit like that.
Yeah.
But he knows the white man ain't gonna want to watch that. You know what I mean? That's what he knows.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
just
you
sit
on
here and listen. I sitting here and listening to y'all keep going, which is fine. I'm trying to figure out now once again for another week having issues with fucking Facebook where I'm trying to click this and fix the security to where it's not showing only on my account. Because a week ago I was able to, or 2 weeks ago I was able to fix it, and it went to everybody. But now I can't get it to just get it off of only me. But whatever. But yeah, has y'all as I committed to, I ain't paying attention to these finals. I mean, the only thing I've been paying attention to is, okay, what was the final score? That's the only thing I've been paying attention to is the final score. I've been keeping my word. I don't know about y'all.
TJ, what about you?
The only reason I was watching it because there was no TV in Vegas. Like the channels was trash. So I would watch like a half or something like that, but it wasn't like I'm going through my phone at the same time. It's just like background noise. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really concerned or care about either of these teams. So
you know what? This is the bullshit. Y'all, you know, fair weather fans is in effect because
no,
it is, because I'm telling you right now, y'all missing some good basketball. These finals are good, bro. These games have been great. The only game that's been bad was game 2. Game 2 was bad. Game 1 was excellent. Game 2 was bad. Game 3 and 4, excellent. Like, this is some good. This is probably the best finals we've seen in it. This is the best finals we've had in a couple of years, bro. And y'all not watching it. And that's a shame because y'all is missing out. Huh?
No, I'm not gonna watch it.
You missing
I'm not
out
a fan of either team.
But you missing out on good basketball. This is better than
team or players.
This finals is already. This finals 4 games in is better than the last 5 finals that we had in the last 5.
But I probably wanted to watch those because of who was in it.
You know that, Shay. That's what I keep saying. The MVP of the league is in it. What are you talking about?
No.
MVP of the NBA is in the finals.
He's nice. I'm not taking nothing away from Shea. He's dope. But they don't.
Who was in the finals last year that you wanted to watch?
I forgot. I don't even remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Celtics won the championship last year.
Oh yeah, I definitely didn't watch that shit. I definitely didn't watch that.
Shit. So who do you watch when Denver won it?
I watched Denver because I like Denver.
You like Denver? Why? Jokic is boring as fuck.
Nah, I like Denver.
Jokic is Tim Duncan.
I wanted to see if he could actually get over the hump.
But what?
With how he was playing.
But what was exciting about that matchup?
No, it was for me. It was more watching Jokic do it. That was it for me.
Yeah,
I wanted to see if he could really do it. And
yeah, but Jokic is not exciting.
Tyrese Halliburton, man,
Jokic is not exciting though. You just said you watched the finals for Jokic, but you don't want to see Tyrese Halliburton play like that.
No. His play annoys me. He's just annoying.
Jokic
He's
doesn't even
annoying to
dribble.
watch.
Jokic doesn't
He's
even
annoying.
dribble. Yo,
He's
Jokic
just
can't
annoying to
dribble.
watch, man.
But you just said you watched the finals for Jokic. You can't dribble, can't jump.
No, and that's why it was even more amazing. That's
Oh,
what
my
made it
God.
more amazing.
Oh,
He
my
can't dribble, can't jump, but he's getting a triple double in the finals. Like, the dude is killing him.
I don't know, man. I don't understand. This what I'm watching now, these finals is way better basketball than I've seen in the past 5 years in the NBA finals.
So what's intriguing about this year's finals? The back and forth? Or what?
The back and forth is intriguing. The defense is intriguing. The shots. Some of these shots that are being made in the finals are outstanding. What Shea did in Game 4, they were losing, and Shea just went down and just couldn't stop them.
He just took
You know
over.
what I mean? Yeah, he just took over the end of that game. It's just a lot. It's drama. It's everything, bro. It's defense. It's drama. It's back and forth. You don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to take over. And it's like, and it's not even just like one person. Like Halliburton is controlling the game without even like scoring, bro. Like it's basketball at its finest right now. I'm telling you, you got to tune in. Game 5 is going to be a banger for sure.
And it said, I will flip between Food Network and finals. I will stay on finals if it's close last 5 minutes.
But he's one of the look. Kurt is not a real basketball fan. Like that's what everybody says who don't like basketball. I don't watch the NBA because all you got to do is watch the last 5 minutes.
Kurt said, I'm watching pickup games at the cage, and Israeli Muslim with boots is crazy. It's wild.
These are the people that go, you only got to watch the NBA games for the last 5 minutes. You don't have to watch none of the rest of the game. These are not people who enjoy watching basketball. But people who say they enjoy watching basketball, for TJ who wants to play it every Sunday, I would think that you would want to see these finals because these games are good. Okay. Well, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. You missing out. It's y'all
Glad
lost.
you are.
It's y'all lost. Y'all the same people that don't watch the NBA neither.
He said this finals got Curtis learning how to make the perfect quiche.
Hey yo, listen, bro. Listen. I ain't even gonna lie. Food Network is that work, man. Food Network is good too. If y'all not watching Food Network, y'all might need to get on that too. Because Food Network, like the way they take food, especially that Chop Show, dude, they get some crazy shit in them chop baskets, and they be making meals out of like dog food and ketchup. Like it'd be crazy. How Chop is crazy, bro. Y'all gotta watch that shit. Y'all don't know because Chop, you get a basket and they just throw a mixture of ingredients.
I do pick the Food Network.
And they gotta make meals. Food Network got some good shit on there too. I ain't cooking though.
I gotta send you. I'm not even watching that. Like, there's a food show that I watch on Instagram. No, not on Instagram, on YouTube. This white dude. I don't remember the channel name. I'll have to give that to y'all in our group chat. But I like this guy's show. Like he travels the world. He damn near eats everything. It's almost like sometimes it's like man versus food, but without the challenges. Bizarre foods, but without purposely and intentionally just eating the terrible shit. And a little bit of Rachel Ray's $40 a day.
He stole that from the what's the boy named Anthony Bourdain, the boy that killed himself, the old white dude.
You know who I'm talking about, then, right?
Yeah, but he got that from Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain.
Well, he got that from that's why I was describing. Yeah. His show is a mix of like all of those shows, but it's actually interesting. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, Bourdain.
This white dude from Minnesota. There's this white dude from Minnesota, but his wife is, I think, Taiwanese or something like that. So, but his show is good. It's like it's properly corny, funny, and he owns his white corniness in his show and all that. But it's good. It's a good show.
But don't hate on the
Show.
Food Network though. Food Network, I mean, I'll be watching that.
Nah,
shit.
never.
I like
can
the
never
Food
hate
Network.
on the Food Network.
But you hating on the NBA Finals though.
Well, absolutely, because fuck them. Because fuck them
I
finals.
think that they should just, you know what, you Knicks fans are starting to sound like Cowboy fans. Y'all starting to feel a little bit cowboyish to me now. Because this is how Cowboys fans are. If Dallas is out, I don't want to say nothing else. I hate it. And that's how y'all acting now. Because the Knicks is out, now y'all want to hate basketball. Like,
No, man. No.
that ain't cool at all.
Wrong. If it was two way more interesting teams, then that these teams,
Oh.
I don't. You tried to dress. You put lipstick on a pig,
That's not a who?
and the pig still ain't cute.
What team? What? All right, you give me TJ. I'll go to you because then you give me a finals matchup that you will watch. That you, if it was the finals right now, you would watch. I guess he might be froze out.
TJ.
Oh, he back.
I was gonna say TJ froze.
A finals matchup?
Yeah, TJ.
I wanted to see Boston versus OKC. I wanted to see Boston versus OKC. Like if it was the two top teams, like I would have wanted to see that. But you know, it didn't play out like that. I thought maybe even Cleveland would have pulled it out. I would have definitely liked that because I like Donovan Mitchell. I like the way he plays. So yeah, I would have watched that
too. New York boy too.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I would have watched the Timberwolves because they definitely, Anthony Anderson.
You would have watched the Timberwolves play the Pacers?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I like the Anthony Edwards. Yeah, I would have watched that.
Yeah, I would have watched that matchup because we have besides Obi Toppin, Ant-Man is that next dude. What's his name? Why am I forgetting his name? Not White Dante, but the guy that the Knicks traded over for.
Hartenstein.
No, that he's on OKC. Why am I forgetting?
DiVincenzo?
No, I already mentioned White Dante.
Randall?
Yes, Julius Randle. I was brain farting. My bad. I want to see Julius Randle succeed. So I would have been watching that. Minnesota is a far more exciting team to me to want to watch.
Shai Alexander the OKC is way more entertaining than Minnesota. Shai is way more entertaining than Anthony Edwards, bro. Like y'all not watching it. That's because y'all not watching it. Y'all not watching it.
You're a WWE fan. You're more of a hardcore WWE fan than I am, right? So take this from the standpoint of Anthony Edwards. I like the mix of the outside and in-ring with him. Shai Gilgeous, I give it up. The boy is a bad motherfucker. He's indie wrestling. It's all about the wrestling. Anthony Edwards gives you the little bit of the outside too.
That's true.
That I'm enjoying. Hence why we said the 2 weeks ago when we was talking that face of the league stuff, and I said Ant-Man is that guy who's the next up and is on his way. You would slightly disagree with me because Shai became the MVP. But he's been one of the driest MVPs we had in a while. Because you're not seeing nothing outside of off the court from him. Which again, coming from a person who it's about the game and it's about between those lines, I understand. But I like Anthony Edwards and all that stuff. His presence would have made the finals feel more exciting. Plus, Minnesota, the state, they've had teams just overall that have been kind of knocking on that door. You know what I'm saying? And I personally like underdogs like that. I like underdogs like that. So I would have been way more intrigued to see that.
Well,
fellas, I gotta run early for Father's Day dinner. I did not know what was happening right now, but salute to you, gentlemen, today. of
hopefully we'll see
wishing
you
you both
next
a
week.
happy Father's Day. Yes,
Same
sir.
to you, my brother.
Well, before I can finish that conversation real quick. I come from a Kobe Jordan kind of era, right? So I come from the era of
We come from.
when it's tough. I could say, oh shit, Jordan about to do some shit. I could say, oh shit, Kobe about to take over some shit. You know, I could say, oh, even Tim Duncan, I could say, man, Tim Duncan's about to take this game over. It's close down the stretch, right? And I look for that. And Anthony Edwards ain't that. Anthony Edwards is a dude that if he's getting his throughout the game, he's going to get his throughout the game. If he's not, it's going to be terrible at the end. And Anthony Edwards doesn't have the ability to take over a game. Even with Halliburton. Halliburton can play shitty all game, but in the fourth quarter when it's close, I look at that dude like, what is Halliburton going to do? Because we've seen him at the end of games take over. And so that's what's going on in this series. The end of these games is like, is Shea going to take it over? And then you see Shea do it. Is Halliburton going to take it over? And you see Halliburton do it. And I come from Kobe. I come from Mike. I come from Duncan. I come from guys that take over games. And so that's why I guess the intrigue of this series got me, because I know at the end of the game close, I know either Shea or Halliburton is going to pull that Michael Jordan out. They're going to pull that Kobe out. And that's what I like.
I could dig it. But like I said, it's these two small ass market teams that just don't give a fuck about. Like not even in the slightest. I just I don't care.
Me
Don't
neither.
care.
But the basketball is good though.
That's cool. And that's cool. Cause like, I'm that way with football. You could give me fucking Jags Cardinals. I'm watching because it's football. You know what I'm saying? I love basketball. I don't love Oklahoma City nor Indiana that much to care. I don't. I will rather watch, and this is no shade. I'll rather watch WNBA regular season than this finals. And that's no shade.
That's a
Because
lot of
I
shade.
love women's basketball.
That's a lot of shade though. A whole lot.
Well,
that's nighttime.
as I like to say, if you find yourself in my statements, well then fuck you. Feel how you want to feel. But with that being said, let's get into our main shit. Just have some fun. We were talking pre-show also. The wrestling podcast might be coming back. We might not come back live right just yet, but I think we're gonna be recording sooner than later. I got the account situation straight, I believe, Tyrone, because part of the issue was I forgot the password that I set up to log in to upload our shit. So I think I got that straight again. But we're gonna get back to, because I've just been saying, like, there's too many shit takes when it comes to pro wrestling. This space needs us again. This space needs logical thinking people that ain't going to just fucking scream over each other just to scream over each other and do all that fucking nonsense. But we're here for good dads, bad dads. Or good dads, some of the worst dads. I want to save the worst for last, Tyrone. Good dads list. We'll give it a 5. We'll give it a 5. And I know I'm a freestyle most of my good dads one. Bad dads, I had to write down because I have points for each one of them. I didn't write the points. I know the points I want to speak on. But good dads, like, part of the reason why I was thinking about this is because when I was at work at a certain garage, they have television, they have a DirecTV, and I forgot what channel it is, and it always shows in syndication A Different World and The Cosby Show. And say what the fuck what you want about a Bill Cosby. Say whatever you want about a Bill Cosby, but they called him America's dad for a reason. And for TV purposes only. Not shenanigans, not all the other shit. For TV purposes only. He was one of the best dads that was out there on television, Tyrone.
He is the number one TV dad because all of the other TV dads, that I grew up watching weren't good dads. I watched Archie Bunker. He wasn't a really good dad. You know, Edith was holding the family down. I watched George Jefferson. George Jefferson wasn't a good dad. His son was mostly grown, but every time his son had a problem, Weezy held the family down. Most of the depiction of the family in TV when I was growing up was the dad's usually a little bit of an asshole, and the mom held the family down. So the Cosby Show and He Kids Huxtable was the first time where it was like Claire was there and Claire was there, but Claire left at the Heathcliff. The dad was settling all the problems. The dad was holding the family down. The dad was being the dad. And so in those circumstances, I go, I pick Bill Cosby. Heathcliff Huxtable. Also, Heathcliff Huxtable found ways to get to their children. He found ways to get his point across to his kids without yelling and using a little bit of comedy and relating to their children on an individual basis, in which a lot of parents don't know how to do that. A lot of parents just treat all their kids the same and yell and do that. And Heathcliff Huxtable was a dad who related to each kid individually and what they were going through on an individual basis. And so, when we got to the Reginald Bell Johnsons from Family Matters, he got that dad from Bill Cosby. Every good dad on TV after that got the Heathcliff Huxtable training session. So yeah, you're right about that.
So on you.
My good dad, and I don't know this man personally, but I do. I like his way of helping his children. I like his thing, and I put Adam Sandler on my good dad list because he's a funny dude, and he seems down to earth. And I met him the one time, and he seems down to earth. But my thing with him being a good dad is that I see his kids in the movies, and he puts all his friends on in the movies, and he's got daughters, and he puts them in the movies, and I like that. It's like I'm not gonna just hand my kids out something. But if they want to be actresses, if they want to be involved, I'm going to give them an opportunity to be involved. I'm going to give them an opportunity to be on TV. And I'm going to give them an opportunity to be in the movies, and they can shine on their own. And the good thing I like about Adam Sandler is he doesn't go out and say it. When he does interviews and stuff, they're like, oh, you put your kids in your movies. And he goes, yeah, my daughter's a good actress. My kids are good. Like, they're good at what they do. Like, I'm not putting them in the movies just because they're my kids, whatever. They're good at it. And he bigs them up. And he just seems to me like he would be a fun dad. He seems to me like he would be a dad that's like, come on, let's play basketball. A dad that's like, you don't have to wear certain clothes. You can go outside any way you want. A dad that's like, look, I'm going to put you in this movie, but you still got to earn your own stripes up in here. And so I don't know. I just see Adam Sandler and I go, man, I think he's a good dad. Now, he could be a bad dad in real life. I don't know. But from my perception of the man,
Right.
I feel like Adam Sandler is a good dad.
Yeah, my perception of Dusty Rhodes, I want to put him in the good dad category too. Rest easy to the son of a plumber, but for him to be one of those guys who ran territories, be known as one of the top and the best ever in his game in his era in the 60s and 70s and 80s. I won't went too far back with 60s, but 70s and 80s. And then to produce two sons who have Hall of Fame legacy worthy careers in Dustin and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, currently one of the tops in the biggest business, the biggest company in the States. Like, and again, just the perception of just he gave the perception of hardworking everyday person on television in wrestling, and he was kind of like a surrogate dad when you found out his role backstage with NXT, and there's a reason why, like, there's a certain core of the NXT group that were called Dusty's kids, because he kept them all under the wing like they were his own.
That's the point that I was going to get to. That Dusty became a part of the creation, a part of the creative in the WWE and in the background, and helped these kids. And you can see that he's nurturing as a
And
person.
he was, but in the territory days, he was in some of them companies, he was the creative. So it was a natural progression.
But you know why I really would give credit to Dusty? Because me as a father, right? And I think about myself as a dad, and I consider myself a pretty decent dad. But to be a part of wrestling, be a part of that industry, and to let your son become Gold Dust and not hate on that, dude, I'm just thinking. Think about it. What Dustin had to do as Gold Dust, and
Right.
Gold Dust was excellent, bro. We want to look back on it. It was gay. It was fun, but Gold Dust was excellent, right? And for Dusty to be who he is in wrestling. And I didn't hear him say nothing about it. I didn't hear him hate on it. Dustin never said it was hate on it. To allow your son to be Gold Dust and not say nothing and know that if my son kills this is going to be good for his career and this is going to be creative for him and he can go his own path and be that. Because I know I would have had a hard time with that. If I came up in wrestling, I would have wanted to visit, hey, you can't, my son be a Gold Dust.
I get it.
I would be like, Vince, what you doing to my boy? You know what I mean? Dusty had a position where he can go in them offices and say, what are you doing to my son? Why has he got to be Gold Dust? And I have no stories about it.
He was also a grown-ass man who can make his own decisions.
I know, but to be a dad.
And Dustin killed that role.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You don't think that Dustin didn't talk to his dad about that? His dad who's been in wrestling for years? You know what I mean?
He might have.
Well, I think
he may have.
I think that even if he's a grown man, even if you're a grown man, you still, if you're an auto mechanic and you're a grown man, and your dad's an auto mechanic, and you come across a car, you still might say, "Hey, Dad, what's up with this vehicle?" And I feel like that's what made me think like, damn, Dusty let him become Gold Dusty, and he rocked out and he killed it. And I just think
I don't think Dusty was in creative though.
No, I'm not saying he was in creative at that time. I'm just saying as a man,
he was actually working elsewhere.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's still his dad. And he didn't protest. Right. I heard no stories about Dusty Rhodes saying anything bad about the Gold Dust situation. And I feel like Dustin had conversations with his dad. His dad's a legendary wrestler. I'm pretty sure that these kids discussed their careers with their wrestling father. So I'm saying like,
right.
And Dustin never said anything about Dusty being against Gold Dust or whatever. Even when Cody talked about Stardust, he said that he talked to his dad about it. And his dad wasn't negative about it. He was like, listen, man, your brother killed the Gold Dust. Maybe you could kill the Stardust. You know what I mean? So right. For me, yeah, I'll put Dusty on that good dad list. The other one I said, going back to wrestling, I said, I picked Rey Mysterio. Because I see what Dominic is today. And Ray had Dominic in the ring as a child. When he was 7 or 8 years old, Ray had him in the ring. Ray had him doing them skits and all that. Ray's had Dominic in the business, and his son wanted to be a wrestler, as we know, since day one. We saw Dominic Mysterio as a child say he loves wrestling. He wants to be a part of it. And Ray let him be a part of it. And also, Dominic got paid. I just saw a story saying that Dominic got paid as a child back in the day when he was doing that stuff. It wasn't like, Ray, bring your son in and let your son do it. It was like, no, my son's in here. This is work. My son's working. He's doing these skits. You got to pay him. And Dominic said he got paid back then. He's been involved in wrestling the whole time. And Ray also understood how wrestling works. And he understood that when Dominic wanted to be the bad guy, yeah, okay, we're going to do some skits. You're going to disrespect me. You're going to disrespect your mom. You're going to do the Eddie Guerrero's your real dad thing, because they go back to when that happened back in the day and all that. And to see what Ray has groomed his son to be, and to see where Dominic is in the business, it's just like, that. I don't know. That to me, that's how you do it.
See, and I was going to joke and add as my third, because it's the show image. I forgot to send it to the group chat, but I'll do that now. But I was going to say Eddie Guerrero, because of Dominic Mysterio, and in storyline how he fucking won the rights to say that Dom was his son and all that, and it's just a joke. It is a joke, but I'm just throwing in Eddie Guerrero as my third just to be funny. Go ahead with your third.
Um, oh, I didn't get. I got to the bad ones. I didn't get to my third good dad. I got four good dads on there. I said, well, the third one was actually me because I've told my story and I've been through a lot with my ex-wife, and I had four girls growing up, and the mom wasn't momming. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. My ex-wife just wasn't it, bro, and the mom wasn't momming, and so I had to deal with girls that didn't really have that mother. So I had to deal with all of the period talks, all of the sex talks, all of the boys talks, all of the teenage girl craziness, all of everything my daughters went through was put on me. And fighting, everything that they went through was put on me. And then it came to a point where I had to, I had to worry about starting to do things that the mom do, like figuring out what they're going to do about their hair, figuring out what they're going to do about their nails and the makeup and the dresses and the shoes and all that shit. I had to take care of all of that shit as a man. And I had sisters and stuff that helped me. But as a man, I'm like, yo, I want them to have their mom. They need their mom for this kind of stuff. And I had to deal with all their emotions. And so I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or nothing. But when you said good dads, I got to be on I can't make a list of good dads without putting myself on it. You know what I mean? Just based on what I had to go through. And then with one of my daughters, being, trying to be a man now. And I had to come to terms with that. And I had to have conversations about it. And I had to do research on it. And I had to really sit down and talk to my daughter about what it takes to really be a real man. I know you can't be a physical real man, but if you want to live your life as a man and you want to tell people you live your life as a man, you gotta know what it takes to be a man. And that's a conversation I had with my daughter. It was weird. It was crazy. And I was a little bit disrespectful when I had to reel myself back in and say, yo, I got to show my child some respect. I got to do all of this stuff. So, yeah, if I'm going to make a list about a good dad, I'm going to put myself on that list.
And I'm with you because we can stop at 4 on the good dads list because, like I said, I was freestyling, but I was going to cap it off with us. And TJ left, but I was going to cap it off with us because I've never once heard anything negative, and not saying that we'll talk about ourselves negative, but we are willing to expose whatever negatives that we've had been through, especially as parents and stuff like that, and especially all of us being girl dads. Like for me, being the father of all girls is it's not that I didn't carry myself with a level of respect for women my whole life. It hits different when your whole household is filled with women. It hits different, totally different. And with again TJ with his daughter in the Hollywood world now, and I've known TJ for the better part of a decade plus now, and watching the growth of his daughter becoming the successful woman that she's became has been nothing short of greatness. And even him with his situation of not being there. Oh, he was there. He was always there, but not being together with the mom anymore.
Right.
But he was always dad, no matter what the situation, always was there. You just described your scenario, so I don't need to elaborate any further. I'm with mine all the time. I'm still with mine. I'm the one that's still together with my wife, all that. And it's I have my personal struggles right now. Again, I'm going through my mental health episode now that's lasting way longer than, normally I kick out. I usually kick out at least at 2. I hit the kick out at 2 usually. And it's been edging, pause. It's been edging with the mental struggles or whatever, right? But especially right now, being in the space where my oldest is about to graduate high school. My middle is about to graduate 8th grade. My youngest is about to be in 8th grade. If that girl wanted to, when we asked her, she very well could be going into high school also because she has the brains. Not saying they all don't, but she from early, she's always shown to be the smarter one. That she was reading at an 11th grade level around 5th grade to 6th grade. If she said yes when we asked her to want to, she could be going into high school right now with her with my middle daughter, with her sister. Like, to see the elevation and growth in them has been, and to from all the sports and stuff, from soccer back in the day. My oldest went from soccer to track and field to volleyball to wrestling, and I tried to get there as much as possible. To see her follow in my footsteps, throwing shot put, um, to see her do things that I've never done. I didn't go to prom. I
Yeah.
just got to send my I just got to send my daughter off to prom on Thursday, and she looked fucking amazing. Shouts out to her boyfriend's mom who hooked up the dress. She made it custom for her.
Okay.
Custom.
Yeah, that's
And
what it
she
looks
did
like.
it off. She did it off the love of, this is my son's girlfriend,
Right.
and she's a great person. Yeah. Plus, he's a great person. Side
Right.
note: the only threat that I had to give him, which really wasn't a threat, was bring her home in one piece and with her clothes on,
When I saw that,
and that's and that's exactly what he did.
but
In
when you
fact,
said,
so we hold on, because we let them hang out, like they did their after prom stuff and all of that stuff, and because it was so late, we had no issue. Her boyfriend slept on the couch here because it was so late by the time they get. That's how respectful this fucking kid is. And to see that stuff, like to see she's maintained a boyfriend for a year in high school while maintaining good grades. I didn't have none of that shit when I was in high school. And watching them, allow them to live and just be there and give them the respect and give them let them want to do, and the respect and love just comes back whether they want to be around me, be in my face or not. And to see that we are raising great children, it's we deserve best dads shit right here. Starting Five Podcast.
you stole my thunder a little bit because I was going to use my end shout out to talk about you and TJ. That was my plan. Like, when we get ready to go, I'm going to bring them up and tell them that they belong on the list too. So that was my end shout out plan. But you kind of already took care of that. And the other thing was, it's funny what you said about your daughter in the dress. Because when I saw those pictures, I sat there and I looked at her and said, "Oh, Dan got a tailor. He got a personal tailor." Because my daughter's dress, you know what I mean? It didn't fit like that. It was nice and all, but Dan got a tailor somewhere out here.
Nah, we didn't. No, his mom offered. His
That
mom
was
offered,
really
and then I posted the boyfriend in the shots too.
nice.
And what she did was she hooked up on his suit. The red that was on his suit was the fabric from her dress that she
That was
used
nice.
from her
Yeah,
dress.
that was real nice. I said, "Man, Dan got some tailor
She-
shit going on." She said, "I gotta go
She
somewhere. I'm
looked it up.
calling Dan. Get me a suit, bro."
All my wife, all my wife had to do, she paid. All she just did was pay for the fabric, because the woman wasn't even asking her for nothing. And my wife was like, "Please let me do something.
Right,
Let us,"
right.
you know what I'm saying? And it's shit like that. And yeah, like the kids giving me monumental moments that I personally never, you know what I'm saying? It's this, again, little things. They let me know that, I'm doing right. Even when, again, part of my personal mental struggles right now is I feel like I'm not being the proper provider that I should be. You know what I'm saying? I go, and that's a big struggle where I can reveal this now. Like, I remember when it was just me and my oldest, right? And my wife was at work late. We didn't have much in the fridge, but she had to eat. And it was weird because all my daughter wanted was just white rice. Like, that's all she wanted. But it hit me like on some like, wow, like I feel like we are like the poorest of the poor, the lowest of the low. And I sat there feeding her, crying, like, I have to do better for you. I gotta make sure I do better. And I cried to myself like that, like, yo, like I have to do better. And then even still in this older age and shit, like it's sometimes I don't cry it, but it still hits me like, damn, like I know we've done better, but I feel like I'm still not where I need to be properly for them. Like, and this well, again, we've trips, we've given them trips, we've done things for them to where our kids can never say we never did for them. But I always feel like I don't get to do enough. You know, like financially been fucked up, especially this year. Mainly since taking this promotion, I've been really, really fucked up financially. And it sucks when I can't be the go-to when they need something. You know, and I guess that's just I never carried the traditional mindset of the traditional roles, but sometimes it triggers me, like, you know, I'm not the parent that they can just come right to sometimes, because I have to unfortunately say no, and then it hurts me because I know I don't have when I should have, when I know I need to do better, and those little things help drive me to make me try to do better.
I had that same problem years ago when my kids were younger. I had 4 girls and my kids were younger, and I had that same problem. And it got to the point where I went to Disney World and I didn't even have rent money. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even pay the rent. And I took my kids to Disney World. And my mom and everybody didn't understand that. And I said, Mom, right now, mentally, I need to take this trip more than I need to pay the rent. And she didn't understand that, but I said, it's just something mentally going on with me that I'll figure the rent out. I'll make sure my kids is not going to be homeless, because that's what men do. I'll shovel shit. I'll do whatever I got to do to keep this roof over our head. But at this point in time, my children want to go to Disney World, and I'm taking them because I've lived, because mentally I was in your state of mind that I want my kids to have better and I got to do better. And at that point, yeah, the money wasn't right, but I made the Disney World trip. And guess what? We didn't end up on the street. You know what I'm saying? But for my mental, certain things for my mental to do for my children, I was going through a spiral where I said, I have to do this Disney World trip because this is something that my kids long for. This is something that they've been asking me for. This is something that I've been telling them we're going to do. And I've never been able to do it. And it weighed heavy on me. It weighed heavy on me. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to just do it and get it over with. And now the funny thing is we've been to Disney World every year since that's happened. And now they don't appreciate it. You know? Like,
Right. It hits everything hits different after a certain point, you know. Just like the bad fathers. Now you get to kick this one off. Who's number one? Where we gonna start?
I'm gonna start. My number one bad dad is Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. And you know what? You know why? You know why I'm saying this? Because for me, when you're a dad and you know that everything you do in life reflects on your children, and every thought I have in life, every decision I make, I think about my children, right? And for me to be finding out what Diddy's been doing and all of this shit that's going on with him and all of this shit with these women and abusing women and all that, and I go like, bro, like, you got daughters. You have daughters. And for you to have daughters, and for you to have daughters and to treat women like this, and you have daughters, that tells me that you're not a good father to them. That tells me there's no way you could be setting standards. And you got sons too. You got sons that's growing up to be men that I'm hearing that some of your sons might have been involved in some of this shit. So as a dad, you're grooming men to be abusive and disrespectful to women. You're grooming men to think that you have this power because you got this money that you can do whatever the fuck you want in life. So you're grooming bad men. And you're grooming daughters that will be susceptible to abuse. You can't tell me that you're living your life abusing these women and being this kind of dude to women, and you're and your daughters is like, and you're a good dad to these daughters, and you're teaching them to be good women, and you're teaching them to have good men. Nah, bro, nah. After seeing this thing with Diddy and seeing all this, I know that this man is a terrible father. And the other thing is this too. Your daughters are coming to the trial. And I think that's the worst, the most disgustingest thing I've ever seen in my life, to see that Puff, your two 18-year-old daughters are allowed to come to this trial and allowed to come and sit there and listen to these women talk about their dad, and listen to these women talk about the things that your father did to them. And I would have, even if I was that kind of dad, at least I would have protected my daughters from that shit. I would have told the lawyers, the judges, I would have told everybody, do not let my daughters come to this trial. I do not want my daughters to hear this shit. I do not want my daughters to hear that any man is doing this kind of shit to a woman, let alone their father. So even him allowing his daughters to come in there, and they're using his daughters as sympathy for him. They have his daughters in there, and his daughters are crying. His daughters are looking at them. So you're using your two daughters for sympathy in a situation like this. So yeah, Puff Daddy is my number one bad dad.
Honorable mention to Curtis's comment here is why I left it up. I didn't even think to add this monkey to this fucking list, but I should have. Elon Musk, worst dad ever. How do you have like 10 to 13 kids and you barely a father to any of them? Fuck every dad that's like that. And like I said earlier, fuck you if you working for ICE and you're a part of these raids. Fuck you, especially the ones that been raiding fucking children's birthday parties. I heard like a school got flashbanged and raided with children for children. Fuck all of y'all. But I'm a keep it next to Elon, and I'll give you DJT as worst dad. Worst president we've had in our lifetime. You've brought up piece of shit sons. All you ever done to the American people in your presidential role is lie, 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 lie. And people just continue to eat your shit and think it's fucking chocolate cake. DJT, I don't even need to go any further. Most of my bad dad shit, I can keep it real short and brief to the point. But there's my worst number one. What's your next one?
He made a pretty daughter.
That's about it. That's about it.
My next one is Vince McMahon. I'm sorry, but Vince McMahon's a good businessman. Vince McMahon is a WWE guy. I mean, I wouldn't have a love for wrestling if it wasn't for Vince. But Vince McMahon is a terrible dad, because when I go back and I see how he, first of all, all of the skits with the stuff that he did with women and the women abuse and all that stuff, but to know that you had your wife involved in it, to know that your whole family structure was involved in it, to know that you had your daughter involved in it, to know that you were putting wrestling skits on where you wanted your daughter to be a part of that debauchery. For Stephanie to say that Vince came to her with some of the skits that he came to her and some of the wrestling programs that he came to his daughter to try to get her to do, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, y'all putting that out there, that's terrible fatherhood. That's terrible. And then to see like she was around this business and to hear some of the stuff that Stephanie knew about that was going on in that locker room, it was like, if this is going on in your locker room, bro, you keep your daughter out of it. Stephanie was like a teenage girl in the locker room hearing all kinds of debauchery, being involved in all kinds of shit. And Vince was trying to get her to do more of the shit that, like, what? And then the other thing is this. What kind of piece of shit dad do you have to be to have a son who joins the business with you, to have a son who grows up in the business, to have a son who was a part of the business, to have a son who was set to inherit it, for your son to say, no, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm going to get my name off it.
And that's part because when he should have been able to hand it down to Shane or fucking sell it to Shane, which I think he asked for like a certain crazy number to sell it to Shane. But we got to remember, when you know Vince's history, you also know that he bought the WWF off of his father. but his father didn't put him in a fucked up predicament where it was just like, you gonna have to pry this from my cold dead hands type shit. No, his father made it available for him.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And he didn't do the same for Shane.
So
I think this company would be in a better place right now if it wasn't, if Shane was allowed to have taken over.
And you got your own son to the point where he said, fuck it, I don't want nothing to do with it. Gave up his shares and everything. You gotta be fucked up, bro.
Yo, he wanted nothing to do with it. And that's what's crazy. And I'll keep it in wrestling because I got 2 more in wrestling for my number 2. I don't need to elaborate. One of the best wrestlers we've seen in our lifetimes, Chris Benoit. I got to throw him on this list because to be a parent, to even, not that this right, but I understand when once in a while, and I don't understand when you want to off your significant other. But to go to the point where you take out your child too, when you go to the point where you take out one of your children, fuck you and fuck everything about you. There's no need to even elaborate no more. Actually, I'll throw my 4th in before you give your 4th. I have to throw in Grizzly Smith, the father of Jake the Snake Roberts and Rockin' Robin. I had to get the 2 monsters out of the way. No, that was my number 2 and 3. My bad. I had to get them out of the way quick because there's no, especially for what Grizzly did, it's not even made for YouTube. There's documentaries on it. Just go look up Grizzly Smith. You'll understand why he's on my list of bad fathers. Tyrone is on you for 3 and 4.
I just wanted.
I got my next.
I just wanted to touch on the Chris Benoit situation. Just a simple thing. My thing is this: when men go, hey. When I don't know how they do that. I don't know how you could think about taking your kid out, right? But the fact of the matter is that you had finances to where if that you could have made provision for your son. I know some people say, oh, they're going to lose them. If I got to kill the mom, if I got to take out the mom and myself, my son's going to be out here in the world alone. You could have made provisions for your son. You have finances that you could have gave to your mother, your sister, anybody, and said, hey, listen, take care of my kid.
And he has another son that's still alive.
And I'm just saying, you made a choice that you had no reason to take this kid out. No reason. Because you have finances where the kid wouldn't have been a burden to you. The kid probably would have helped. Giving your finances probably would have helped a family member to take in your kid. You know what I'm saying? Or you had poor people that you know. Anybody would have adopted your kid. Hey, here, adopt my son. I got a trust fund for him. You're not going to have to worry about money. So you had a means for your son to be taken care of. So it tells me like you had no reason to take that boy's life at all. And
even over the years with a lot of the facts and stuff that came out, like, because there's still a conspiracy that he just might not have done it. But like even Curtis says, there's a conspiracy. There's a conspiracy that Kevin Sullivan did it. Yeah. I doubt that, but the whole CTE factor with him and crashing out the way he did it's real. And it's real. It still doesn't excuse taking out your child.
Also,
I don't care, even if you have CTE or whatever, when you go that far, no.
That's also a reason why he's a bad father to me. CTE does not defend him. CTE makes it worse because CTE don't just hit you. You don't just wake up with that shit. You don't just wake up.
It's just something that it develops.
So if you know that you're developing these thoughts, you're developing these problems, you're going through it mentally, and you know that you got a little kid in your house, and you know that you're thinking about harming yourself, you might have thoughts about harming your mom, you might even have thoughts about harming your child. If I'm in my house and I know that I'm going crazy, that I'm having mental issues, and I'm a grown man that's in wrestling, that's got all this strength that can literally, I can accidentally kill my child just playing around with him or anything. You gotta go. If you don't want to seek help for the love of your child, then you're still fucked up. So yeah, if he had CTE, he should have been in therapy. He should have went to rehab. He should have got help because he had a young child at home. And you're putting
the only thing I'll do. The only thing I will compare this to throw it back to you to end this, if he was in a situation, if y'all ever seen the movie A Serbian Film, that's the only time I could understand where you clear out your whole family. Because if you've seen a Serbian film, you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's the only reason why I can understand why you would clear out your family, because that child would forever have to live with such a stain. If you don't want to watch the movie, which I suggest you don't, there's a channel on YouTube called Spooky Rice, and he does reviews on disturbing videos. Just go watch that. Trust me when I tell you. Go ahead, Tyrone. Number 3.
My number 3 is LeVar Ball. I'm sorry, but I do not. I do not think.
This is where we disagree. Perfectly in the middle, right where we disagree. But go ahead, brother.
But I feel like LeVar Ball to me was over. What did he say? Fathers of young
this
women.
Nigga here said fathers of young women with OnlyFans content. You don't. No, you do. Stop it. There's no sex shaming over here.
Hey, but then, hold on. Before I get back to LeVar Ball, here's the funny thing, though, right? When once upon a time, a few years ago, I had put a Facebook post saying that they were, because somebody said, Tyrone, you're such a good dad, and I wrote on Facebook, I have to be a good dad because if I got all girls and I got to keep them off the pole. So,
the Chris Rock joke.
Yeah,
Chris Rock joke. Gotta keep my babies off the pole.
Right, and that's what I said. So I kind of feel that comment a little bit that if your daughter is doing OnlyFans, you did fuck up as a dad a little something. I don't know. Like,
nah, ain't no shaming over here. Do your thing out there.
Here's my thing. I'm all for a parent encouraging their children. I'm all for a parent doing all of that, what he did. But my thing is this. I feel like LeVar Ball was very much overbearing. LeVar Ball set his sons up for failure because he put expectations out there on his boys that they could not possibly meet. I think LeVar fucked up their business with them shoes and putting that price tag on them shoes when they had done nothing yet. I think LeVar Ball made a lot of mistakes as a dad. And I think that he kind of tainted his sons' careers and kind of fucked up their whole business module. He made a lot of mistakes, and I feel like he didn't even know his sons. I feel like you were putting it out there that your sons were such these great players and all this and all that. You're supposed to pick up your kids, but part of being a good dad is knowing that your kids, you want to big up your kids, you want to be proud of them, but you also got to know their capabilities. You also got to know their limitations, and you also can't put. He put a lot of weight on his sons. He put a lot of weight on them, and I just feel like he ruined them kids a little bit. With all the expectations and all the weight and everything that he did, bro, he fucked up their money. He fucked up their part of their careers. He did a lot of damage to his boys in trying to be a good dad.
Get that nigga dad. Get that. Remember when he was on Raw? Get that nigga dad. Got that shit quickly removed. But nah, see, and that's why I oppose it because all right, I see your angle, but I see it on the other angle of most sons should wish to have a father want to champion them like that. And he never presented himself to treat his kids in any fucked up manner. Public perception gave us points of views like you gave us. The public perception. But I'm sure in that household, it's like, shut up, dad. Like I get, like the normal, shut up, dad. Yo, be over there, dad. But I'm sure that those kids, each and every step of the way, are still thankful that they've had a father that had their back like that to achieve the heights that they did get to achieve. So that's where we differ on that.
This
But
one
go
is a
ahead with
little
number
bit.
4.
This one is a little bit tongue in cheekish though, because I know he's a good dad. He loved his kids. You can see he loved them and he wanted the best for them and all that. I'm just saying that, man, he was pushing too hard on them boys, man, and he went too far. He overstepped his dad boundaries, and I just see that he caused a lot of trouble for his sons when he did that. And they were trying to be good sons and let their dad rock out. But at a certain point, man, I had to tell my dad, like, bro, you gotta sit your ass down. You gotta sit your ass down. So I'm kind of
like Pat Mahomes and Halliburton's dads.
So I'm tongue in cheek with LeVar Ball, but I get where you can say he's a good dad. I mean, I get it.
But go ahead, number 4.
My 4th is Woody Allen. And that's because I watched that documentary on HBO about Woody Allen and about his whole situation. And for the way his original daughter grew up and the way he wasn't a dad for real. He was there, but he wasn't a dad. And then the sexual abuse stuff and the ignorance of all that. I just can't. Any man that sexually abuses your own child and in that kind of limelight, in that kind of space, and then gaslighted her when she got grown to make her believe that he didn't never do that shit to her. I cannot with that dude. So Woody Allen's probably like the worst dad on my list, because for you to do something like that to your child and then she becomes an adult and she's still mentally struggling with it, and you go back and act like she made it up and act like.
And didn't he marry her?
He married
that was like his stepdaughter.
Yeah,
the stepdaughter.
Right.
Yeah.
After he did the same thing to her, basically groomed her into. Oh yeah, man, no, that dude. I'm getting mad talking about him. But Woody Allen.
I'm with you. I'm going to video games with my next one. If y'all are Tekken fans, y'all should know where I'm going. Now, I haven't played Tekken I actually tried to play Tekken 4, I think, or Tekken 2 recently. I forgot all the combos. I forgot all the things. But my favorite character in the game, Heihachi Mishima, terrible father. Just because you think your son got the fucking demon gene at 5 years old, you throw this little nigga off a fucking mountain. You threw his ass off a fucking mountain.
Oh, I knew you was gonna say that.
You threw your son off a fucking mountain.
Yo, man, you got.
And then your son came back. Your son eventually came back and murked your ass. In some respect, you deserved it because you think you was all big, bad, and powerful and shit like that. But nah, you threw your son off a fucking mountain.
What else do you do with him? You gonna let a demon live in your house?
Yes. You gotta keep the enemies close, they say, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But go ahead, number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 is a fake dad, because and you went to video games, but I'm gonna go to movies. My number 5 bad dad is Donald Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street, because you was a police officer in a town where children were getting killed, and you didn't move your wife and your daughter out of that fucking town. You left your wife and your daughter there. Not only that, but you divorce your wife and leave your daughter with her, and she's a fucking alcoholic bitch. And then the killer returns and starts killing people again, and you don't go get your child, and you leave her with the mom, and the mom's not helping, she's an alcoholic. And then after that, all the daughter's friends get killed, you're still a cop, the mom gets killed, and you don't talk to your daughter after that. Now when M Street 3 comes on, and she's in she's going to go be a psychiatrist or whatever to them kids. And when the guy said, "Hey, what's up with you? Where's your dad?" I haven't talked to my dad in a while. So after you fucked your daughter up, didn't move, left your daughter in that situation, left her with a drunk mom, all of her friends get killed, all of her friends get killed, and her mother gets killed, and you as her father decides to stop talking to her? For 5 years, she hasn't talked to her dad. And then when she do talk to you and she says, Dad, I need your help. Freddy's back. You know what happened with the Freddy Krueger situation. And your drunk ass tell her, oh, you always had a hard time believing this, but Freddy's dead. And it's like, you know Freddy ain't dead. Nigga, like you. Like, what are you talking about?
Right?
So that
This
dude
ain't the
is
song.
like, that dude is a terrible ass dad.
Word. And my fifth, we're gonna keep it funny and keep it non-real dads. Everybody's favorite. I wish I had the theme song to play right now, but motherfucking Goku. Motherfucking Goku. Now, this is the thing of perception with Goku, right? If you're an outsider looking in, you just see this big hero that's consistently saving the planet. But what you didn't see in the background is him leaving Gohan with Chi-Chi all the time. Or he was taking his son with him into battles. Like, who's taking a little baby into battles and fighting? Now, funny enough, the son eventually, I think, did become stronger than his dad, but still. Goku was on the forever, yo, I'll be back. I'm going to get the milk and cigarettes. Forever going back and get the milk and cigarettes. Meanwhile, you had fucking Vegeta coming over playing stepdad better than you.
I agree with that.
Kurt said one more honorable mention. Kurt said, my choice for worst dad is Jordan. You couldn't give a snippet of your greatness to any of your kids to play basketball.
Hey yo, Mike was competitive even in his own house. That I'm not showing y'all niggas nothing. But before we end this fight, I wanted to say this. What's your perception of, because somebody said the best TV dad was James Evans. I forgot who made that comment. But I can make arguments for James Evans.
Omega's son.
I can make arguments for James Evans being a good dad, but I can make a lot of arguments for James Evans being a bad dad too. Like James Evans was, there were times in him going,
I think
bad dad.
Oh no, and you know what? Don't even to elaborate too much on that because I could see that too. But I think we look at him as the good dad because in most black households he was relatable. Like he felt like the dad that everybody had to a point. You know, with the exception of like, you know, I would actually sit and say Terry Crews and Everybody Hates Chris felt more relatable as a dad for me because my father, shout out to my father who just left to bring my sister home. You know, he was there. There's my father was there. But if work was calling, that nigga was going to work. My father, well, not saying like that, but my father was going to work. Like if he could make, you know, what we call his chart, which is our day off and stuff like that, he was going to go get that money. And if he's going to work his Sunday, he's going to make his Sundays to get that money. You know, he wasn't Terry Crews, Julius, you know, that piece of chicken cost 37 cents you just threw away. It wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? But I think for the kids of the 70s and the 80s, like I think just James Evans just felt relatable because most black households at the time that had both parents there did have a level of stern father that was James Evans. But I could see the bad as like, but you ain't doing more to get your kids out the projects.
Yeah, and then,
you know, like that type shit.
And the other thing is, he jumped straight to kicking ass. And as a good dad, you know that sometimes kicking ass ain't
We brought him up, Lou.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the bad dad part too. It was like, as soon as they got in trouble, get the belt, I'm gonna kick his ass. And it's just like, damn, you ain't even talked to him yet. Like,
but again, that was the era. That was the era.
But that's not good father behavior, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, when you put today lens on it, especially today lens, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't. But you know what? Before this computer dies, we done. Okay. Like I said, the wrestling podcast. Next episode might get recorded a little later today if you know the brother's down. But we got to get this to come back. But Tyrone, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lou.
Dan stole my thunder because I always planned this when he said it was a Father's Day thing. I said, okay, at the end, I'm gonna surprise these dudes with a shout out, and I'm gonna give them they props as the good dads. They're gonna be on my list or whatever. But yeah, man, it's I really do like Father's Day, and the thing is this: we don't even real good dads and the dads that I am the kind of dad. I don't give a fuck about Father's Day. I get the little happy Father's Day text from my family and friends. I get the love from my children. I understand and all that. But I don't particularly need any recognition because I know. And my kids, and I get recognition every day. I get recognition every day. I get a recognition every time I handle something, every time I do something, every time when these girls hug me. I get recognition every day. So Father's Day, if it's not a standout day for me, I know my children love and appreciate what I do every day. Now, sometimes the respect ain't there, but for the most part, I know I'm a good dad based on how my family treats me. And now I got two stepchildren that it's no step. They call me dad. I'm dad, no matter what. Even and their fathers is in their lives. We not a fucked up family, but I'm still dad. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate that we do get a day to celebrate, but we don't need that. Good fathers don't need it, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I always come on this podcast and I always go, I appreciate you guys as men, and you and TJ as dads. I appreciate y'all as fathers, and happy Father's Day to the real dads. And even though earlier I even said happy Father's Day to the bad dads, because some of these men out here some of these men out here, I feel like some of these men get a bad rap. Like, my dad wasn't the greatest dad, but he was around, he was there. So sometimes being there, even if you're not good, being there, when I see a lot of people that don't have a dad, it's like, maybe we should cut these guys a little bit of a break. Some of them. Not the ones on our list.
Right. right. But see, and thank you again, brother. And again, happy Father's Day to all the great and good fathers out there. I'm a no shouts out to the bad fathers, the ones that choose not to be in the lives of their children and all that, because for me, being a father, like, part of what's keeping me alive, like I said, with the struggles that I mentioned before, but part of what's keeping me alive is I want to be a grandfather one day. And to have brought children into this world and to not want to be around them, and I'm not the father that's got to be around them 24/7. That's my daughter, but my daughters know that I'm fucking there. They know already, like, they know daddy will unalive somebody if he needs to for you. Let's never let it get that way. But also, let's make sure that you have the people around you that garner your respect. That I never have to lay that down on. And I just described that incident from this past Thursday. This kid has nothing but respect. And after Pete meeting his parents, who are Nigerian, the kids grew up in a fucking good, respectful household. And so I like the factor of, like, you're seeing that from your own. Now you know what to look for. But I go back to take a step back from 30 seconds ago, to bring children in this world and to not want to be a part of their lives fucking behooves me. Like, I don't get it. Why did you do it? Not every child is a mistake like that. To be like, nah, I don't want to be around. You know what I'm saying? We joked last week about Anthony Edwards being the first nigga to cash out on child support. But some of that is in a way that's commendable, because you're being upfront about choosing to stay. But you're still, and again, the child in his respect was unwanted. But the child is here and is there. If I know I'm there because you're a piece of me. You're a piece of who represents me. I have to be there. So no shouts out to bad fathers out there. And like I said, if you are one of these people out there conducting these ICE raids, breaking up these families, fuck you. Fuck you. We didn't even get to talking about that the way we were supposed to, like a week ago or so, but them shits are still continuing, so we can bring it up next week. But no, fuck all of y'all tearing apart families. I'm kind of with you on that. Like, I don't need Father's Day, but I like Father's Day because I can say it's the one day of the year where I'm off limits from bothering me. And I don't, and I say that, but they can bother me all day. It doesn't matter because that's what a father's supposed to be there to. You're supposed to be there to get that. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't want to drive around the planet and do shit because you want to do, they understand because it's the one day I might not want to drive and do nothing. Let me have my
Right.
moment, and they do. My daughter just came out to say, "Hey, dinner's ready." You know what I'm saying? They hooked up dinner for me. Thank you. I don't need much. My wife asked me, "Oh, what do you want to eat for dinner or whatever today?" I just said, "All I want is Chinese food." After that, it's whatever. And even when we ordered the Chinese food, hey, what do y'all want? What do y'all want to have first? I'm asking them what they want before I'm picking. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, like you said, a good dad just is gonna be a good dad no matter what. And the accolades are cool. Let's not front like we don't like them. We like them shit, especially your cocky ass. You
Oh,
like that shit. You know what I'm saying? But is but again, it's real dad shit where we can get to the level of do we feel like we need it? No, but do we appreciate it? 1,000%. 1,000%. So big ups to all the brothers in the comments today. All of y'all, except for Lou. Lou's a dog father, but Kurt, the two Curtises, y'all are fathers. Big ups. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day again to all the fathers out there, the real fathers, and to the bad dads. Fuck y'all. We out. Peace.